Okay, so slab 3, first thing we want to do is we're going to look at the paper size. So this long way is about 10.5. I don't know if you can see it or not. And then the short way is just about 8 inches. So it's about 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So anyway, so first we're going to take the available space the long way, where we're going to have a front view, and then we're going to have a right side view. So the dimensions that we're concerned about are the 4 and the 1 3/4, because in the front we're going to have a box. It's going to be, well, the object can be contained in a box that is 4 inches this way and 2 1/16 tall. And then the right side view is the same 2 1/16 tall, but it is 1 3/4 deep. And then my top view is going to go in here, and that one of course is 4 inches wide as well and 1 3/4 deep. So we want to take our available space, which was 10.5, going the long way, minus the 4-inch dimension, minus the 1 3/4, and see what that is. So that equals 4 3/4, and if I divide that by 4, then that gives me about 1 3/16, but you can use 1 inch. So that gives me 1 inch here between my border and 1 inch over here, because you want double the amount of space in between them. So going the other way, so that equals 1 inch, and that's the horizontal direction. Then going the other way, we've got 8 inches minus 2 1/16 minus 1 3/4 equals 4.1875 divided by 4, a little over 1 inch, 1.04. So I will call that one 1 inch too. So we're going to go 1 inch both ways. 1 inch vertically between the border, 1 inch horizontally. So it's going to be easy to remember. So I'm going to go ahead and mark off those first. So I got 1 inch here, and I'm going to go ahead and mark off the 1 inch on the other side. I'm going to try to draw my lines a little bit darker, even though they're my construction lines, so you can see them. You won't be drawing yours this dark. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw little boxes to fit each of these views in. So this one is going to be 4 inches. And then over on the other side, I said I had 1 3/4. Okay, so going the other way, I've got 1 inch from the top. And 1 inch from the bottom. should have gone ahead and marked off the depth of the top view and this one too, but anyway. So up here we got 1 3/4. 1 3/4 deep. Same as the right side view. And then in the top view we have 2 1/16, which is a dimension that is shared by the right side view. Be sure that I looked at the right one. Yep. Okay, so now I have a box front, right side, and top view. And this one I can use for projecting some information from the right side view if I need it. Or you can just wait and see if you're going to need it before you start pulling those lines up. So let's look at the front view and see some of the dimensions that we know we can locate. We've got a 2-inch dimension, and it's 1 3/8 over here, and it's 13/16 over here. We know we can darken that in too. So I've got my 2 inches, and to start with I'm just going to do a guideline. And then 1 3/8 up. 1 2 3. Right before I get to a half. That one only needs to be marked right there. This one is 13/16. So I've got 2 4 6 8 10 12 13/16. So actually we know where this one stops, so I'm going to go ahead and darken this in. And then the 1 3/8 the same way. And then I can darken in this bottom. And then I can darken in the angled side. Okay, so let's look and see what else we've got. We've got a 4-inch line that goes all the way across, and this was the dimension that I left off. That is 1 inch tall here. So we actually know that we can draw the 1-inch dimension. We can draw the 4-inch straight across before we ever get to the other locations. So I've got 1 inch over here. Can't believe that worked out to be right there, that other point that I had done. And I'm just going to double check some as I go. Yep. So this one can go all the way across. And then I'm going to go 13/16 up. And then the peak of little angled area is at 2 1/2. So I'm going to mark my 2 1/2. I'm going to put a projector line and go ahead and carry that forward to the top view too. So I know that that's the peak, begins here and ends here because I already marked off that square. And then I've got one here. So it's coming together. That's really it for the front view. I was actually able to draw everything in the front view. So we're ready for the right side view. I'm going to project some information over. This is in the front, so I'm going to project this over to the front of the right side view instead of carrying it all the way through. there, and there. The top had already been carried through. The one on this side is actually back here because that's on the back side. And then of course it goes all the way to the top. So our measurements over here, 1 3/4 all the way, I already have that one. And then I want 1 1/16. And that's for the one in the back. See, we've got 1 1/16. This is one in the back. This one is in the front, this side, and so that is why I use the 1 inch at the back piece. So you're going to have this surface that you're going to see in true shape, and then you got this surface that you're going to see foreshortened, and you're going to see part of this one foreshortened in the right side view. So I've already got the height, so I'm going to go all the way here for that one. And then I've got this one for the short piece. So I'm going to go all the way up to the tallest dimension that I drew projected over from that view. Like that. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a projector line up so I know where to end the back piece. So I know I can end that right there. And then I've got this, which I've already projected over. So I've got a line here. So let me darken in some other object lines. The front one here. And then this one in between. And the one at the bottom. See if I missed anything. Okay, I've got an edge. And the back piece that's going to be right here. And then looking at that, I can see that I got this edge, that edge, top edge. I got the back edge, but the thing about it is you're also going to see a back edge through here, a hidden line. Okay, so I got that information. I can project it up if I want to. So I've got it for my top view. So I'm going to project this edge up. That edge is already projected up. That's basically it. That's all I can project over. So over here, this is the edge of my part. Again, we've got the 4 inch. That's going to be for the full length. Then we see the 2 inch is only going to be for this short portion. And of course, the thickness of these two pieces are going to be the same as the right side view. So for the 4 inch dimension, I'm going to go ahead and carry that all the way for the whole part. And then this one is the front of the back part, so I can carry that all the way. And then I've got my shorter part. Well, I've got my peak here at my back part, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that. So the back will be almost finished. Actually, if I wanted to go ahead and do this, and I can pay attention to how those are lining up with the front view. Okay, so now let's look at this little short piece in the front. So it stops right here. So it goes from here to here. And then, of course, this left-hand side, that would go all the way forward. And you'd have a line here. Let me check to be sure. The top view, you'd see this surface, you'd see this surface, and this surface, and no hidden lines in the top view, no hidden lines in the front view. You see, this is where that line is that shows up as a hidden line in this view, and that's finished.